I'd like to welcome everyone to our 2021 virtual PSAPs Finest Awards presentation. My name is Patrick Boat. I'm the Director of Engagement here at NICE Public Safety, and it's a pleasure to be your host. As 911 professional, whether you're handling emergency calls, you're supervising staff, training new recruits, innovating new ways of doing things, or just making technology work, you play a vital role in connecting the public to emergency services in times of crises. NICE is honored to be able to play a small part in recognizing emergency communications professionals who do this essential life-changing work day after day through our PSAP Finest Award program. Now in its 16th year, the PSAP Finest Award program recognizes dedicated individuals and team standouts in emergency communications. Awards are presented annually in the following categories. There's a Lifetime Achievement Award, Director of the Year Award, Line Supervisor, Technician, Trainer, Telecommunicator, Innovator, and PSAP of the Year Awards. Winners are selected by an independent panel of volunteer judges from the public safety community who evaluate nominees based on their accomplishments, their skills, knowledge, dedication, and professionalism. With that said, I'd like to introduce you to our first ever Above and Beyond Award recipient, Daniel Graves. A police dispatcher for Denver 911, Daniel was recognized for his consistent and impressive ability to uncover information to assist investigations in real time. Several investigations involved domestic violence calls where dispatcher Graves, through his skill, persistence, and resourcefulness, was able to locate and get help to the victims. In another instance, Daniel was able to uncover critical information on a suspect vehicle that intentionally struck 3 officers during a riot. In the course of his duties as a dispatcher, he consistently goes above and beyond what is expected of him and always demonstrates the utmost care for both officers and citizens. Congratulations, Daniel.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Daniel Graves. I'm currently a dispatcher for Denver 911 in Denver, Colorado. A little bit about me. I started out always wanting to be in public safety. Things have kind of changed over the years on what I wanted to do in public safety, but that kind of calling to public safety has never changed or never wavered. I started out as a police officer in Lafayette, Indiana. I spent almost 7 years there. I also worked as a deputy coroner part-time as well, so worked a lot of traumatic death investigations and those types of deaths. From there, my wife and I decided to relocate to the Denver area, and I kind of needed to decide, do I want to lateral over as a police officer, or do I kind of want to take a different approach? So we kind of talked about it for a while, and we went with the latter. Just something that was a little bit more sustainable. I've had some work injuries. At the time, I think I was 27, and I had a bum shoulder, a bum knee, and I kind of wanted something that I could more or less do for a long time and really make an impact in my center. So that's how I kind of made my way into police dispatching. My center, Denver 911, is kind of a separate organization, separate from Denver Police, Denver Fire, and Denver Paramedics. Our call takers receive calls from everybody. We take all the calls from 911 or non-emergencies, and we essentially set up calls for the fire dispatchers or the police or the paramedic dispatchers. I myself am a police dispatcher. Obviously, that's the world I know and the world that I love. I'd say my proudest accomplishment I've had in my career, there's been so many different things that I find so rewarding, and then I go home, seeing as a win. But I would say probably most recently, the one I really am proud of is back in some of the protests we had last year in Denver, middle of the summer last year, we had 3 officers that were intentionally struck by a vehicle. The vehicle ran over a couple officers and fled, and we had next to no information. At the time, I was a call taker, and I heard this commotion going on over in dispatch, and I could tell something had happened, very serious. So I kind of got a hold of my supervisor and asked what had happened, and she told me what had happened. So I immediately asked for about 10 minutes off the phone because I wanted to see if I could find anything. And she thankfully gave me the time that I needed. And so I went to social media. I started looking on all these different live feeds of the protests, and I did find on Twitter where somebody had posted a video of what had happened. So first off, I clipped that video, sent it to our detectives. I then slowed the video down, kind of went frame by frame, enhanced the video, and I was actually able to come up with a make and model of the suspect vehicle and to about a 2-year range. And they ended up using that information for a Crime Stoppers bulletin that I ended up catching the person that did this. So that felt really good. You know, it was something that it was kind of beyond what the scope of my responsibilities were. But thankfully, one thing I like about Denver is they recognize this person can help, let him help. There isn't this rigid, you know, kind of where you're stuck in your current role. So thankfully, that was something I was very, very, very proud of. And you know, there's just so many things. But I will say, and this is just kind of me cheesing it a little bit here, but I will say Denver 911, where I've been, I've had more support there than I've ever had in any other agency or any other department I've worked for. I've been incredibly happy there. So if I can take a moment, I want to thank everyone at Denver 911. All my coworkers are wonderful. We all work together, especially in times like the protests we had last year and any other times of critical incidents. We really, really work together. We pull together. We support each other. So I really just thank everybody at Denver 911. Specifically, I want to thank the supervisor who gave me that time off the channel, and the supervisor who kind of has mentored me and supported me along the way, Jessica Tresh. So thank you so much, Jessica, for all the support you've given me over the years. And then obviously my wife, Nancy, for putting up with a long schedule, the long hours. And when I call her and I say, hey, I'm not going to be home real quick, there's been, you know, this big case and I want to work on it for a bit, she's totally fine with it. So thank you again, obviously, to my wife as well. And other than that, I'm incredibly happy to even be recognized for this award. So I want to thank everyone at NICE for running this PSAPs Finest program, but specifically this Above and Beyond award is such an honor. And obviously none of us get into this line of work for recognition, but it feels very good to recognize when you've gone above and beyond and it actually gets recognized. Somebody actually does say, hey, you did a great job there. So it's something that sometimes in public safety doesn't happen very often because that's not why we're in this job. So it feels great. And thank you everyone at NICE for putting this together and in this award. It's been a huge honor. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce you to our 2021 PSAPs Finest Director of the Year, Marshall Mooneyham, Assistant Chief for DeKalb County E911. Assistant Chief Mooneyham oversees daily operations for a center that takes over 1 million calls a year and serves a culturally diverse community. Marshall Mooneyham started his career as a police officer. Over the years, he has progressed through various positions and has always been highly respected. As the Assistant Chief of DeKalb County E911, he has spearheaded many initiatives and implemented numerous technology upgrades, all with one goal in mind: to deliver the most effective and efficient police, fire, and emergency medical service to citizens through the application of outstanding teamwork, training, and technology. In addition to being a great leader himself, he empowers others to take ownership of their individual roles as well and recognizes the importance of instilling motivation and morale in his employees. In fact, he implemented many programs to support his staff, including a peer-to-peer program, a quiet room, 24-hour continuing education, and a video wall to highlight the great work of employees. Lasanji Strickland, management analyst, who nominated Assistant Chief Mooneyham for this award, had this to say about him. He has the ability to capitalize on the talents of employees and effectively draws on our strengths to develop team-oriented environment. He embodies our motto wholeheartedly: always ready, always there. Congratulations, Chief Marshall Mooneyham.
Good day. My name is Marshall Mooneyham, and it has been my high honor to serve as the DeKalb County, Georgia 911 Director from 2013 through 2021. In DeKalb County, we employ over 130 employees, serving a population of approximately 750,000 citizens. We answer over 1 million calls a year annually. That's police, fire, and emergency medical services. That's responding to calls within unincorporated DeKalb County and also within several municipalities within the county. Over the course of the last several years, we've had the opportunity to implement several next generation capable technology pieces. That's to include a computer aided dispatch and a new call handling system. Our go lives and our implementations on that have basically been pretty seamless, and that's a great testament to our technical staff, our IT unit, also our outstanding training section, and our telecommunicators overall, who have really just got on board with technology and really moved us forward. In 2019, our DeKalb County CEO and the DeKalb Board of Commissioners actually recognized our telecommunicators as first responders. They did this through an official proclamation. It was an extremely proud moment, a moment that hopefully all the telecommunicators in the United States will get to be a part of at a national level very soon. I would like to say that it's a real honor, and I have real heartfelt appreciation for this PSAPs Finest Award and recognition. It's made even more humbling by the fact that I know that the greatest staff that a person could ever have actually nominated me for this, and that's just really outstanding for me. Our telecommunicators are truly the first of the first responders and some of the finest in this great country. And it has been my high honor to serve with them, and they are the ones who have earned this recognition. And I'd like to thank you for this opportunity.
Next up is our Trainer of the Year, Amy Young. Amy's a training coordinator and communication center specialist for the Thornton 911 Emergency Communication Center in Thornton, Colorado. Amy, who is nominated by the training supervisor, Dora Maestas, is instrumental in keeping Thornton's training manuals up to date and accurate. And as we all know, that's easier said than done, just because by their very nature, training material are living documents. The policies and training documents or topics are always evolving and changing. In addition to that responsibility, Amy also assists with training new hires to set them up for success on the job and with continuing education training as well. She's always on the lookout for new and innovative ways to make Thornton's training programs more effective. Congratulations, Amy.
Hi, I'm Amy Young, and I work for the City of Thornton's Communication Center. We dispatch for police, fire, and EMS. I have been there for almost 23 years. I'm a trainer there, a CPR instructor, and I also am an EMDQ. We grade our calls for our medical. Our center has 20 full-time people. We are at 17 right now, and I work day shift. I would say my proudest moment that I can think of would be when I became the training coordinator. I have learned a lot of new things, and I really enjoyed training new people, and it's given me a lot of different challenges that I didn't have as a dispatcher. I would say how I feel about getting this award is I'm extremely humbled and honored. I know that there are several other dispatchers out there and trainers that deserve this award, and I'm very grateful that the team that I work with reaches out and recognizes us with our accomplishments. I would really like to thank my team that I work with. And my supervisors, Dora Maestas specifically. She has pushed me when I didn't feel comfortable and helped me succeed and become a better dispatcher and trainer and mentor for new hires. So thank you, and thank you to my team.
This year's PSAPs Finest Telecommunicator of the Year is Jeffrey Downing, also with Thornton 911 Emergency Communication Center in Colorado. During his 5 years on the job, Jeff has received numerous accolades, including Fire Dispatcher of the Year. Most recently, he received a Meritus Award from Thornton Police due to his quick and out-of-the-box interaction with a citizen in need. The citizen was locked in a vehicle and unable to talk as a result of a hostage situation. Always thinking on his feet, Jeff was able to form questions which allowed the victim to press a button on her phone for tones to signify yes answers to the questions. As a result of this quick thinking, officers responded to the location and were able to arrest the subject, and the victim escaped her ordeal with no physical injuries. According to Sean Shear, who manages the center, this is one example of great work Jeff does on a daily basis. Way to go, Jeff. Congratulations.
Hi, my name is Jeff Downing. I'm 34 years old. I live in Colorado with my wonderful wife and wonderful 2-year-old son. I've worked as a dispatcher for just under 5 years, all for the same city. I work for the city of Thornton, Colorado. Um, our center dispatches police, fire, and medical. We have about 20 to 25 very talented people who work there, and feel very fortunate to work with them. Um, our city is about 150,000 people and continues to grow rapidly, and so we stay busy, and it's a lot of fun. Um, we, in terms of my proudest accomplishment, I'm not sure if I have a singular proudest accomplishment, but the thing that drives me, the thing that makes me most proud with what I do is just the knowledge that something that I have done may have helped somebody that day, and that could have been a citizen calling in on their worst day. And if I was the calm voice on the other line, then that makes me feel good. Maybe I made their day a little bit less worse, or knowing that I communicated effectively with my police or fire department and got them to the right place at the right time to do what they need to do to help our community. That's what drives me, and that's what makes me the most proud in what I do. I'm also proud of getting to work with talented individuals, with whether that's training them or learning from them, and so to be able to see them navigate calls or tasks in a great manner. That's also proud that, knowing that I may have had just a little something to do with that makes me very happy. So that's probably most the thing that I'm most proud of with this job. So um, in terms of receiving this award, I'm very very grateful and extremely humbled at the same time. I know for a fact that just in my center alone, I could see a number of individuals in this same position, and so I feel very grateful to have been selected. But not only that, I know that around the country there are very qualified individuals for something like this as well, and they're the ones who are working hard, working long hours, working overtime, short staffed, doing this job not for recognition, but for the good of their community and making the world a little bit better, one call at a time, one day at a time. So I thank you as well. Um, and for further people that I would like to thank for this, I want to thank my family, who's been such a huge support for me and such a great encouragement for me in this career, and continues to do so. I'm so grateful for those who have come before me in this job and made it to what it is now. I know it's not always been this technologically savvy for us, for locating individuals by just using their cell phone coordinates and things. Um, I'm so grateful for my trainers, for people who have taught me things, and like I mentioned earlier, there's so much to learn each day with this job, and I love learning things, whether they've been here 20 plus years or just started. Everybody has something to teach. So I love trying glean some information from them and utilize that in my daily work. And I love it. I love what I do, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity and for this award. Thank you.
Receiving this year's Technician of the Year award is Elias Jock, Assistant Director of Information Technology for Southwest Regional Communications Center in DeSoto, Texas. Elias was nominated by Director Tamara Bell, who said that even in difficult budgetary times, Elias was able to articulate and justify new technology upgrades. Elias is also known for stepping in and doing whatever is needed, including manual work that would ordinarily be done by a third party to save his agency money. Not one to make technology decisions in a vacuum, Elias solicits feedback from dispatchers and administrative staff before he makes decisions on purchases and upgrades. He's always been available to answer questions and make quick fixes to keep everyone happy, no matter the time of day or night. According to Bell, he's a true professional. Congratulations, Elias.
Yeah, so I'm Elias Jalk. I'm the Assistant Director of IT for Southwest Regional Communications Center. We are the PSAP for the cities of Duncanville, DeSoto, and Cedar Hill. I've started my career in IT probably over 20 years ago, working for my dad in his small networks overseas and maintaining machines and such. And I've worked for different facilities in education, in private sector. I've ran my own business in IT, and I've even worked for companies like Conoco and Planned Parenthood. And we took over this data center probably about 4 years ago. And since then, we've made a ton of changes. The place is nothing like it was whenever we entered. And we've tried to just improve the quality of the experience for all our dispatchers here. And I think we've done a pretty good job at it. I got to give thanks to my boss and everybody I work for. You know, the team here is just outstanding, and servicing them is just a great opportunity. And you know, I wouldn't be where I am today at this environment if I wasn't a product of my environment. So I just got to give thanks to them. And you know, I got to give thanks to my family, because they put up with a lot. This job is very demanding, and we get, you know, those 2 a.m. phone calls, and they got to deal with getting woken up alongside me. And, you know, but it's just a blessing to work here. And I really appreciate everybody nominating for me to this. And it's just, I didn't even know they nominated me for this, and I was surprised whenever I received that email, and it's just a great opportunity. And I thank everybody.
I'm very excited to announce this year's Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Anita Kellerman, a dispatcher with Wood County Dispatch in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. Talk about a lifetime of service to public safety. Anita has over 30 years experience as a dispatcher, starting her career in 1990. With all that's changed over the years, especially with evolving technology, Anita has had to learn and relearn the job over and over again. But according to her supervisor, she embraces every change and always gets better and evolves along the way. In a time when most dispatch centers struggle to keep employees, Anita is a shining example of resiliency, longevity, and dependability. Thank you, Anita, for your decades of service to 911 and your community. We really appreciate it. Congratulations.
Hi, my name is Anita Kellerman, and I've been working here at Wood County Dispatch for almost 31 years now. And it's been a very interesting job. When I first started, we had punch cards, no computers. And so I've seen a lot of changes throughout the years. I started as cross-trained in the jail, and just one dispatcher for the whole county. And then as we got busier and busier, then they decided to take us out of the jail so we wouldn't have to deal with that anymore and put us in the basement temporarily. Well, temporarily ended up being many, many years. And then eventually the county combined with a couple cities in the county, and we merged three dispatchers centers into one. And that got to be quite the stressful situation, and it's still a lot more stressful than it used to be. So the new people coming into the job have a lot more to learn than what I started with and gradually learned. So it's hard, and we have a lot of turnover. And so it's a very interesting job, though. I tried a different job for a while when I had a daughter, and it was actually pretty boring compared to this job. So I came back, and I've just been loving the job for so many years and couldn't imagine doing anything else. And I'd like to thank Lori Heidemann for nominating me for this award from NICE, which is very nice for them to recognize this profession, which really needs recognition, because we're always the last one thought about in any situation, and sometimes they even forget to thank us for helping them out. But I'd also like to thank all the coworkers I've worked with through the years, because working with other dispatchers as a team, you rely on each other, and you when you really get to work together, you learn how each other's works and help each other out, and everything flows very smoothly. And it's been a pleasure to work here all these years. And thanks again for the award.
We'd also like to recognize our 2021 PSAP of the Year, Scottsdale Police Communications, represented here today by Communication Manager Karen Sutherland. Scottsdale Police Communications would recognize this year for its quick response and actions in effectively handling a high-risk, low-frequency incident and the resulting aftermath. On May 30th of 2020, a riot occurred at the Fashion Square Mall in Scottsdale. The scale and impact of the agency and the community were immense and exhausting for all involved. During the course of the night, the riot escalated to several thousand people. They broke windows, they threatened officers, incited violence, they ransacked businesses, and stole everything that wasn't bolted down. While officers worked to manage the situation on the ground, dispatchers tackled the situation in-house, directing street cameras to anticipate crowd movements, documenting decisions for movement in the field, and keeping track of the locations of officers. Over the course of 6 hours, dispatchers fielded 974 emergency calls from business owners frantically trying to protect their businesses, nearby citizens afraid for their safety, angry residents, armed militia arriving to provide support to business owners, as well as nearby agencies needing information and offering assistance. This incident, which lasted over 6 hours, was undeniably the most difficult night in the careers of Scottsdale dispatchers. But the entire Scottsdale Communications Center pulled together with incredible teamwork and stayed focused on the task at hand, providing steadfast support to officers on the ground and successfully managing an unimaginable event through extraordinary professionalism. Congratulations to the entire team at Scottsdale Police Communications.
My name is Karen Sutherland, and I'm the communications manager for the Scottsdale Police Department in Scottsdale, Arizona. I've been the manager here for about 9.5 years, and I have 39 years in law enforcement, first 25 of them in the Metro Detroit area. The dispatch center that I manage has 38 full-time dispatchers, 7 supervisors, and then myself. I consider them to be one of the best groups I've ever worked with. They show up and they take care of each other on a daily basis, as well as taking on every new task and every new technology that comes in here. I get a little excited when we have new tools that we can work with and new ways that we can serve the public, and they jump right in and figure out how to best manage those tools. So I love working with them anyway. But 2020 was an especially hard year, not just for us, but for everyone, and not just with COVID. We started off the year, the first week in January, losing a coworker here. And that was very difficult on everyone. It was unexpected. Somebody that had worked here for 20 years. And so we started off the year in a very difficult spot, and everyone really stepped up and supported each other through that. We weren't even into the grieving process, and COVID hit, and that changed our world too. Not too long after that, within about a month of COVID hitting, we ran into some civil unrest that was taking place in the city of Scottsdale and around the whole country. And that culminated in a riot that happened at the Scottsdale Fashion Square Mall, which is a very large mall here in Scottsdale. Basically, the two hardest days of probably all of our careers were within a 4-month period in 2020. And my folks were tired. They were working a lot of hours. COVID was already taking its toll when the civil unrest happened. And that riot was undoubtedly the most difficult day that I've ever lived through in my career. We've always, as law enforcement dispatchers, there's always been times where we've been concerned for our officers that are out there, and we've certainly all had moments where we were very worried for their safety. But this was hours and hours of our officers being under extreme pressure, extreme violent situations. We really prayed through that whole night that everyone would go home safely. The way that my folks showed up during that event did nothing short of amaze me. The call went out in the afternoon that there was some social media happening that indicated that there might be some trouble happening that evening. And my dispatchers, some of them had only been off work a couple of hours, had only gotten a couple of hours of sleep. They came in, ran in, how can we help? Took a chair. We had people that joined the emergency management team, directing and making phone calls and trying to assist in any way that they could. We had people that took phones in the room. We had supervisors that got off work, got home, turned around and came back because they knew that help was still needed in here. It went on for 12 hours nonstop in here. 450% of our normal radio traffic. We took 5 times the amount of phone calls, and those first several hours, the calls came in from people that were scared for their lives, scared for their businesses. Some folks were very angry about the situation. It was one call after another. There was never a time that the calls died down. These folks had to just keep going and keep going. At the end of that night, it didn't end. We went for the next 7 days with about 4 times the normal amount of phone calls into the center. Again, folks were angry, folks were scared. We didn't know what was going to happen next. And my dispatchers kept showing up. They kept showing up just to help each other out, just to support each other. And that just really struck me as these folks aren't here to just get a paycheck. These folks are here because this is what they love. They love this city. They love the job that they do. They love the officers that are out there. And they just gave everything they had throughout that whole year to make this place run, keep everybody safe that was out on the road. You know, they took responsibility for everything that they could just to make this work out well. I think that I need to recognize not just my team, because I need to recognize the entire team that did that night, but I also need to recognize the support that we've gotten from the staff above us. So my director, Robert Bokinski, the assistant manager, Chief Helen Gadara, our current chief is Jeff Walter, and the chief that we had at the time of the riot was Chief Alan Rodbell. And every one of them also showed concern, was in here with us, stuck it out with us, has been through this entire process that everybody lived through over the last year, and showed support, showed concern, did everything that they could to make sure that everyone here felt valued and knew that the job that they were doing was of great value to this department.
Next, I'd like to introduce you to our PSAPs Finest Innovator of the Year, Cecilia Carroll. Cecilia currently serves as the Police Service Officers Manager for the Pasadena Police Department, California. Christy Lewis, the Police Civilian Director who nominated Cecilia, said, "Cecilia is by far one of the most innovative individuals I've ever met. She demonstrates ownership through her leadership and by harnessing new ideas, both on her own and from those around her. One example, Cecilia was given a priority assignment to minimize staff overtime. Through her efforts, the center was able to reduce overtime costs by $45,000. Another example of Cecilia's innovative spirit, establishing a backup emergency communications facility for telecommunicators to work safely through COVID. Cecilia embodies all that innovators should be, someone with a clear vision of where an organization needs to be. She has the drive, the passion, the diligence, and the mindset to get there. Great job, Cecilia, and congratulations. Keep up the fantastic work."
Hi, my name is Cecilia Carroll, and I am the PSO manager. I have had the privilege to work with the city of Pasadena for 22 years. I manage the police service officers. We have 45 when we are fully staffed, which are our dispatchers that are cross-trained to also work in the jail, along with 6 amazing first-line supervisors. One of the greatest accomplishments that we have with our center is that we actually are impacted by hurricanes, and the way that our team and our department responds to hurricane season is phenomenal. The one that's memorable is Hurricane Harvey, and I had the opportunity to work at a distribution center to basically give some basic essentials to the citizens of Pasadena that were affected. And that was one of the greatest accomplishments in my career, the opportunity to give back to the citizens on the ground and give them the basic essentials. To see them smile was very, very rewarding. What it means for me to receive this award, I am very humbled. Usually work behind the scenes. It was unexpected, but I am truly honored and proud to receive this award. Who I would like to thank, as far as being nominated, Christy Lewis for always guiding me, for recognizing my hard work. And also, I would like to thank my family and friends. This career has been a very rewarding career, but it's hard. And I would like to thank Wendy Moikeha, Anel Garcia, Georgia Cook, and Azelle Carter for always being an anchor and rooting for me and supporting. But I would also like to thank our dispatch center and our jailers, who are always working phenomenally around the clock to get everything that we need done completed. So thank you, NICE, for this opportunity as well.
Last but not least, I'd like to introduce you to the 2021 PSAPs Finest Line Supervisor of the Year, Anastasia Sutton. Anastasia is a lieutenant with Sedgwick County Emergency Communications in Wichita, Kansas. She was nominated for this award by the Comm Center Director, Alora Forshee. Forshee said, It's hard to capture on paper what makes Anastasia so great, but for starters, she always sees the positive in everything and pushes her team to grow. In a year of unprecedented events, Sedgwick County Emergency Communications encountered many policy changes, many staffing issues, and other challenges. Anastasia was not deterred or slowed down by any of the changes or uncertainty. From COVID policies to a summer fraught with riots, she remained calm and handled anything that came her way. This especially came light during an incident that happened on the third night of protests that occurred in June. Anastasia was working on Tactical Operations Channel when the chaos erupted. Through the duration of the stressful event, Anastasia remained calm and coordinated resources from all over the county to ensure everyone got home safe that night. Anastasia is a shining beacon of calm under pressure and effective leadership. Congratulations, Anastasia.
I'm Anastasia Sutton. I've worked for Sedgwick County 911 for 7 years, and I have been a supervisor for 3. I'm a mother of 4. Our agency dispatches for police, fire, and EMS. We dispatch for 30 different agencies, and in a normal shift, we have about 18 employees. When I was notified that I received this reward, I was very surprised. I'm honored to receive it, and I'm very thankful for my teammates and my team members for nominating me for this. I didn't imagine that I would win Supervisor of the Year, but I can't imagine anything greater that I could accomplish, especially within 3 years of being a supervisor here. My team members mean a lot to me, and I hope they feel that, and this just lets me know that they really do feel that and appreciate that from me. My biggest accomplishment has to be just working at 911 every day. Not everybody can do it. It's a hard job. Being that lifeline for anybody that needs me anytime is a wonderful feeling. I love that I'm there for my community, that I can pass that along to everybody here as well when I'm training. And I just overall have to thank everybody in the center and my team members, and especially Cameo and Morgan, who originally wrote this nomination. Thank you.
I'd like to thank all of our PSAPs Finest winners for sharing their great stories and achievements with us today and extend a sincere congratulations. And I'd like to also thank our volunteer judges because without them, this program wouldn't be possible. As one judge said, all of the PSAPs Finest nominees exemplify the best of us even at the worst of times. This is so true. If you're interested in nominating someone for a PSAPs Finest Award, you can email us at psinfo@nice.com. And we also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We'll be opening nominations for our 2022 program in January. Thanks again for joining us today. Really appreciate your time.